A sharp Alekhine defense signals an aggressive start in Asian Individual Chess Championships 2025 Open Blitz Round 9, with Tarigan taking on Zhalmakhanov. On e4. Knight f6. Threatening knight takes e4. On e5. Threatening pawn takes f6. Knight d5 played by Zhalmakhanov. This position is typical of Alekhine defense. On d4. On d6. On takes d6. On takes d6. On g3. On g6. Bishop g2. Threatening bishop takes d5. Knight b6 played by Zhalmakhanov. On a4. On d5. Knight c3. It is novelty move. Tarigan might go for. On a5. Knight c4. Knight takes d5 and establish a winning position. On e6 played by Zhalmakhanov. On h4. On h6. Knight ge2. Knight c6. Bishop f4. Tarigan considers playing. Knight b5. On e5. On takes e5 and put immense pressure on the opponent. On a6 played by Zhalmakhanov. On b3. Bishop g7. Queen d2. Knight d7. King castled kingside. Knight f6. Rook fe1. Queen a5. Bishop d6. Bishop f8. Threatening bishop takes d6. Bishop f4 played by Tarigan. Bishop g7. Bishop d6. Bishop f8. Threatening bishop takes d6. Bishop takes f8 played by Tarigan. King takes f8. Rook a d1. King g7. Queen f4. Bishop d7. Rook d3. Rook hf8. Rook f3. Threatening queen takes f6 check. Knight h5 played by Zhalmakhanov. Threatening knight takes f4. Queen d6 played by Tarigan. Threatening queen takes d7. Queen d8 played by Zhalmakhanov. Knight f4. Tarigan is planning to play. Knight takes h5 check. On takes h5. Knight e2. On e5. On takes e5 and dominate the board. Knight f6 played by Zhalmakhanov. Threatening knight takes d4. Knight ce2 played by Tarigan. Knight e4. Threatening knight takes d6. Queen a3 played by Tarigan. Queen e7. Threatening queen takes a3. Queen c1 played by Tarigan. Rook a c8. Rook e3. Tarigan is aiming to play. Bishop takes e4. On takes e4. Rook takes e4 and secure a stronghold in the game. Queen f6 played by Zhalmakhanov. Bishop takes e4. On takes e4. Rook takes e4. Knight b4. Threatening knight takes c2. On c4 played by Tarigan. Queen f5. Threatening queen takes e4. Rook e5 played by Tarigan. Threatening rook takes f5. Queen f6 played by Zhalmakhanov. Queen d2. Threatening queen takes b4. Knight c6 played by Zhalmakhanov. Rook e4. Rook cd8. Queen e3. Do not rush. Can you find the strongest move for Zhalmakhanov? Knight e7 is logical continuation as on d5. Knight f5. Queen d2. On b5. Knight c3. Pawn takes a4. Still Zhalmakhanov is losing. Shifting to the main variation. Queen e3. Queen f5. Slightly worse move played by Zhalmakhanov. Rook d1. On g5. Threatening pawn takes f4. Pawn takes g5 played by Tarigan. Pawn takes g5. Knight d3. Tarigan is looking to play Knight e5. On f6. Knight takes d7. Rook takes d7. On g4. Queen g6. Knight g3. And gain a significant edge. Rook h8 played by Zhalmakhanov. On g4. Threatening pawn takes f5. Queen g6 played by Zhalmakhanov. Knight e5. Take a moment to spot the best move for Zhalmakhanov. Knight takes e5 is logical continuation as rook takes e5. On f6. Rook e4. King f7. Knight g3. Queen h6. Still Zhalmakhanov is losing. Let's proceed to the main variation. Knight e5. Threatening knight takes g6. Queen h6. Slightly worse move played by Zhalmakhanov. Threatening queen h1 mate. Knight g3 played by Tarigan. Knight takes e5. Knight h5. Check. Time to think. Find the best continuation for Zhalmakhanov. King g6 is best move here because rook takes e5. On f6. Rook takes e6. Bishop takes e6. Queen takes e6. Rook h e8. Still Zhalmakhanov is losing. Let's analyze the main variation. Knight h5 check. King f8. Slightly worse move played by Zhalmakhanov. Threatening knight takes g4. Pawn takes e5 played by Tarigan. Queen g6. Rook ed4. King e7. Take a moment to spot the best move for Tarigan. Queen f3 is logical continuation as rook takes h5. Pawn takes h5. Queen h6. Queen f6 check. Queen takes f6. Pawn takes f6 check. Tarigan have small advantage. Let's go to the main game. Tarigan is preparing to play rook takes d7. Rook takes d7. Queen c5 check. King g8. Queen c8 check. King h7. Queen takes d7 and gain a significant edge. King e7 played by Zhalmakhanov. Knight f6 is an inaccurate played by Tarigan. Bishop c6. Think carefully what is the best move for Tarigan. Pawn f3 is the correct move because Rook takes d4. Queen takes d4. King f8. Queen d8 check. King g7. Queen takes h8 check. Tarigan have small advantage. Let's explore the main variation. Threatening rook takes d7 check. Bishop c6 played by Zhalmakhanov. Threatening rook h1 mate. Rook takes d8 turns the tide in the opponent's favor. Played by Tarigan. Rook h1 mate. Zhalmakhanov secured the win in style.